Okay, this is episode 24. And now, back to Beach City. Everything is almost set up and prepared, and Garnet has sensed that Black Diamond is almost coming. And this is the episode where they come up with a final speech, and to set up the army. Blue Zircon actually stayed on Homeworld to take care of Homeworld while the others were fighting and taken care of. But Diamond apparently stayed here because she knows she's not going to die. And she knows that she will be saved and be kept alive by Steven and possibly the others that are in their army. So then, let's see. Well, what other things should we, hold on. I'm gonna think of other ideas for this episode before we get to the speeches. I guess we can go have Diamond, Gem that's asking a question to Diamond saying that, you think this would work? Or actually, what do you think that, I'm finished with this one, what else do you want me to make? And then she just tells, the same Gem to try to add in some other things and other weapons that they can create before Black Diamond comes, because they actually have time, because they actually can make their gems are smart, like they're very genius of things. They can make let's see. They can make dangerous weapons faster, and oh yes, during that episode they making weapons that look more dangerous, so that way Black Diamond and her crew are actually make them totally defeated. Steven then talks to Diamond and saying that this is getting pretty good at this. They then smiled and then they were talking about that. Have you ever been afraid? And she says, and Diamond says, I've always been afraid. She was like, I'm always afraid. Actually, yeah. Steven says, are you afraid? And that's when she says that, but she then says that, but I do my best to keep myself from not fearing, and luckily I have weapons carrying with me and swords. You will get to see them later. They look so bad, eh? And after that conversation with Diamond, then Steven has a conversation with the other diamonds that are from Homeworld, and they saying that, hey diamonds, do you remember the time, white, yellow, blue? Do you remember the times when we used to be enemies? I mean, can you think of the times that we used to be enemies to each other? And then yelled at me like, yes, but now we have, yes, but now we have friends. We have friends, and you reunited all of us, and make us get rid of these authorities. Just to make bigger groups. And something what Yellow Diamond would say right here, and Blue Diamond like, and you make me no longer had the emotion of the morning of Pink Diamond's death. Since you were her. And then Steven's like, yeah, like that time when you say that, yes, you guys know that I'm not her, but I was her. But, and then White Diamond saying that, Steven, if anything bad happens, we love you. And then Steven said, we love you. Steven said, I love you guys too. And then they were joyful. They were having these blushes and then he has a conversation with the crystal gems and see that and Peridot asked Steven, what are we gonna Steven, don't you think they were missing some extra people to the fight? And then Lars just shouts out in the actually Steven then thinks after Peridot asked that question, and then Lars ends up showing the ship with his team, and then they come out of it and they want to join the fight as well. And then after that conversation with Will that made Steven happy, Connie then decides to have when Guardian has sent Black Diamond that he had just passed Mars, they then get ready for a speech so that way they could start the fight and line up. They then lined up, and Connie decided to make the speech. But then Diamond like, it's okay. You don't mind if I actually Diamond ends up taking over instead of Connie. Like she said, please, and then Connie was okay with it, and what would make it a better idea that instead of Connie writing the line, she writes on the line, and we're gonna make it a reference of Queen Elizabeth I, and Queen Elizabeth I, to how she rides on the horse, and she makes that speech during that Spanish Armada, and then when her speech went well, they then began to start their cheering, and then Black Diamond finally arrives. Yes, you finally got to where Black Diamond finally arrives. And then, with their edgy faces and serious faces, they began to start. The team then starts showing up, and they were surprised, and almost all of them were surprised that the same gems that they have met during the past, and then that ends the episode. Or actually, we ended the episode. Actually, yes. Actually, you'll see later what I mean by the next episode, okay? But that is where we end. Yeah, you know what I mean. But anyways, you guys can't wait for me to talk about the fight, alright? Okay. Alright. Let's get to this on the next video.